So you guys flew stuff in too then?
Yeah, yeah, we did dry lake beds around California. We lived in Palm Springs, and, then we would fly it up from Mexico, and then I would, hire ground crew guys, and I had ground transportation, and then I would store it, and I worked for a couple different guys that were flying loads, and I was kinda like I would take care of it and get it shipped out to them around the country. So, yeah, I got some good smuggling stories, actually.
Uh, how old were you then?
Probably 25?
You're
I was
still in
like,
the
God,
you're in the dress.
I was in my stupid stage. I remember I was broke. I had to rent a car I owed money on because I had had a pot deal go bad, and, I didn't know what I was gonna do, and then my buddy KV calls me and says, "Hey, you wanna go unload some planes for these guys?" I said, "Well, sure." And I remember I went from being broke to a few weeks later, I had a new Mercedes, and I'm going, "Oh, wow, this is grand," and a lot of times, you can be way up. I've been up before, and then you lose a load, then you're back down. So it's kinda risk and reward shit.
Yeah. So when you get busted, did you feel like everything collapsed? Did everything just go to shit? Did you feel like that, well, this is it?
I kinda felt like, "Boy, I'm glad that's over." I I was on the hamster fucking, track for a long time, and I mean, I was tired. I wasn't sleeping, I was doing so much coke, and it was just like it felt good to wake up and, and not have the worst thing that could happen to me had happened. I didn't die now, so that was off the table. Now it's the worst thing that could happen to me was I could get busted, and it happened. And I'll bet if you talk to some drug dealers, especially if they used it's almost a relief, when they finally catch up with you.
Yeah, I was gonna my that kinda led to my next question then, but when you get caught, you're finally in prison, you're there, it's kinda like, "Alright, now we can start." Did you ever feel like that?
Yep, now we start rebuilding.
Yeah.
Now that was my first time, but I was 30 years old then. Now my last time when I went in, I had it I thought I was gonna do 20 years. I gotta admit, I thought I was looking at 20 years, but Rhode Island had never had a meth case. I was teaching somebody how to make everything, and, anyways, it it kinda like I shouldn't have been doing it. I knew I shouldn't have been doing it. I didn't feel good about it, and so, as soon as they caught me, I just said, "Yeah," I signed a statement on myself and said, "Let's go," and I remember the worst thing in the world was I had to call my sister. And I was just dreading it, and I said, I might be gone for 20." Turns out I only did 12 and a half on that, but only, that's how they brainwash you, only. Uh, and it worked out. I got the bottom of 'em. I gave a pretty good speech to the judge, talking about I had every opportunity in life. I could have made it. This is all on me. She couldn't have badmouthed me any more than I badmouthed myself, and she had tears in her eyes, the judge, and she was gonna give me the top of the guidelines, and she gave me the bottom, and I remember the marshal, you know how they pull you out of the court and take you back to the holding cells? He goes, "You know you were gonna get the top of the guidelines there. They know everything," and, he goes, "That was a good speech." And, he goes, "You did yourself a favor in there." I go, "Well, I meant it. That's why it was a good speech. It was all true."